all plants have structured water in them. You've had me on here. We've talked about structured water before. This is another huge, huge thing for those of you that might not be able to afford like our Water Hero system. If you just eat living plants, the water inside of them and is structured. Cucumbers, the water inside of a cucumber, watermelons, all of it is structured. So you're getting structured water. You're getting the hormones, the oxygen, the phytochemicals, the enzymes, the electrons. You're getting vitamins, minerals, trace minerals. It's unreal what you can get out of that, and it's medicine. And I've watched people boom, ba boom, ba boom, heal, 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 heal.
Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. So John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning into another Inspired Conversation. And we're bringing back one of our dear friends of this channel. You guys love him. We all love him. Mr. Tim James, founder of Chemical Free Body, the health-obsessed guy from Oregon. Howdy, partner.
Hey, man, I'm doing awesome.
I didn't even ask it. He was leading. That's what they call leading the witness. Hey, Tim, how are you doing, brother? I'm loving it. I'm doing good. Love the hat. How are things on the farm, brother?
Good. I'm high on chlorophyll.
Mm-hmm. Did you sniff it or?
No, I eat it and drink it a lot.
Yeah.
And rectal implants too. Don't forget about those.
Wonderful. Thank you. TMI, but hey, why not?
It's whatever works. It's whatever's going to produce results.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Tim. Whew, let's make a clean break here. Go from the rectal area into the input area where we actually
that is an input, by the way. It just goes through the colon into the blood that way.
Okay. And
all right, I'll let you switch gears. Go ahead.
I just said, I think I triggered it. Tim and I had a discussion off camera, and I said, we used to be really anal about this stuff, and we were talking about some sort of paperwork, and Tim just, zoom, there's a connection kicked off, and it took it right the rectal direction. So, Tim, you have something on your mind, something that you want to talk about because you feel that it's underrepresented and can't be overestimated.
Yeah, and what I want to talk about is sprouts and green juice and chlorophyll and the benefit of it and how it's abundantly all over the planet. Might not be so much so in maybe some desert areas, but pretty much all over the planet where there's some greenery there. And if somebody has a a wild foraging book for their area in it, they can always get their hands on some of God's finest medicine. And it's what I've seen with it, and I'll just go back. I mean, a lot of you that have been tuning in, you heard my story before, but for those that are new, I'll do a quick snapshot. And so, I grew up here in Eastern Oregon. We had a garden. I really enjoyed eating out of the garden. I didn't enjoy weeding too much, but after I got done, I always felt satisfied and I felt accomplished. And even when I was a little kid, I look back at that strawberry, it's all beautiful. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That feels good. Accomplishment, right? And then fast forward, I'm 37. I'm 42 pounds overweight. I'm pooping blood. I have to be life flighted for emergency surgery, get an organ removed. After that, my friend gets cancer. We go to Hippocrates Wellness Clinic in Florida, and they're really big on living foods. Okay, that's their whole thing. Dr. Ann Wigmore, the gal that healed herself of stage 4 colon cancer with basically grass juice and herbs, built a whole clinic around this whole thing with a passion to help people. Not really, she could hardly speak English, wasn't good with money, but she had a passion for plants and chlorophyll and what her grandmother, her surrogate grandmother was the village healer over in Lithuania. And she taught her a lot of stuff. And this was during wartime. And there was even times when the troops would come through and the grandma would take her and a couple other girls and they would go way out into the fields and hide in the ditches and the grasses and the bushes as the soldiers came through and were shooting people and taking everything. And then they were like, Grandma, what are we going to eat? And she says, don't worry. This is that, and that's that. And we'll eat the roots off that. And we'll chew on that and swallow that juice. And we're going to be just fine. And when the soldiers left and they would return, people would come back into their homes and start rebuilding their lives until they came through again. They ran out the ditch again. And so from a very young age, this was instilled in her. And when she was 17, she moved to, or 18, she moved to, got enough money and came to the States to visit her parents who had left a long time ago. She was the sickly child who was left behind with that grandma. And she got in a horrible buggy accident, carriage and buggy accident, and mangled her legs. And her parents owned a bakery business, and they would, kind of in a cruel way, they would, on their way at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, they would, in Central Park, they would put her on a bench, a public bench, and just leave her there, go do their business, and then pick her up, scoop her up on the way home. And the doctor said there wasn't anything they could do for her, but bring her back in a couple weeks and we'll amputate her legs. So every day she's laying there on this bench. She couldn't move, waiting for the days, the hours, and the minutes until she was going to get her legs cut off as this young, beautiful 18-year-old girl. And but she remembered back to what her grandmother had taught her, which was the plants. So she couldn't move, but what she could do is reach under the bench and grab the grass, the lawn grass, and she pulled that lawn grass up and she would chew it and swallow the juice. And then she started packing her wounds with the poultices that she made out of the fibers and the juices. So she made the juice in her mouth. Her mouth became the juicer. And by the way, our mouth is the most awesome juicer ever. And so she would swallow the juice. I mean, she's there all day, right? So she's swallowing juice and making juice and chewing up the fibers into a poultice and packing her legs. And she ended up healing her legs and was able to walk again. Okay. So
damn, true story.
True story. And
That's
so,
incredible.
And that right there, my friends, gives you just an idea of how powerful it is. Now, being all that magic that she learned from grandma, and she did this, what did she do? She lived the standard American diet. And in her mid-50s, she contracted stage 4 colon cancer. And she thought, maybe I should go back to the grasses and the herbs. And that's what she did. And remember, she's doing lawn grass at this time. She doesn't know about wheatgrass. I mean, everybody's doing, like, the people that know about it now, it's wheatgrasses and like Jamba juices and, these stores. Get a wheatgrass shot. A lot of people know about it. Very few people are doing it, but some are. Some are doing it.
So let me ask you then, because I think people, they think of green juices and, leaves go in there and green stuff goes in there, but there's something about sprouting and the sprouts themselves that is so potent. Can you talk a little bit about why the sprouts are so potent?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I do want to, I'll get right to it. So real short story. She gets cancer. She goes back to the sprouts and the grasses, and she heals herself of stage 4 colon cancer and starts the Hippocrates Health Institute, which now became the Hippocrates Wellness Center. It's been going on for 70 years, and they've had like 700,000 people through the door. And two of the people were me and my friend Charles, and he healed himself of chronic lymphocytic leukemia, supposedly an incurable blood cancer with no chemo, no radiation, no surgery. So that was the impetus that changed me. So that surrogate grandmother bestowed that information to Anne, which then brought that over here to the States. And then she got sick. She starts the institute, and then I come to it in 2011. Anne Wigmer's not even alive. I think she died in allegedly in a house fire. And then I learned the stuff, and it affected my life. And now I'm teaching other people. So this is just the daisy chain of information being passed down. And like you said, like sprouts are kind of getting lost, and green juice and that kind of stuff. It's kind of a fad for a while. People go through these fad deals, but the reality is that nature is not a fad, and we are made of nature. So what's the power in these juices? Well, when you look at nature, there's the blood inside of our body and what's in it, right? It's carried by iron, but the structure of the blood and the components and stuff of it are very similar to seawater. Right.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Very similar to seawater. Also very similar to coconut water. Right. A lot of times people didn't know this, but like during the Korean War and different wars when we were over in Asia fighting, if people had wounds that were opened up and gunshot wounds and stuff, shrapnel, and they bled out and they were dying, that if they ran out of blood to give them, they would just give them coconut water and keep them alive. Very similar to human blood until they could get them out of there, evac them out or whatever, or get them some human blood. Coconut water works just fine.
I didn't know that.
Let that sink in for a little bit. So every freaking thing on this planet is connected, even the people that you might have some hatred for.
I know. That I do know.
I would say release that, because we're still connected to them. And if you hate them, you're actually hurting yourself. So the solution, the secret ingredient is always love. And if you can give them unconditional love and hope and pray that someday that they'll wake up and come to their senses, it's not, our job to do it for them. But if they do, great. But to send that energy to them is the best way to do it, I think, to transform that consciousness. So anyway, so then we go to plants, right? And we got wheatgrass, we got sprouts and stuff. So I didn't really know much about this stuff at all. All I knew was I know horses and cows eat grass, and I tended to them a lot. And they're some of the strongest, fastest creatures in the world.
Yeah, cows are fast.
If anybody here has ever ridden a horse knows instantly, I don't have to tell them. But for those of you who've never ridden a horse, if you get on a freaking horse, it's unreal. It's the term horsepower.
Yeah, exactly.
When you get on a horse, we would do it in the winter because their manes would grow out and they'd get long. They weren't cut and all pretty and all that stuff. They let them grow out. And when we'd have 4 or 5 foot of snow, me and Mike would jump on the horse's bareback, grab the hair, and just walk through and build trails. And then we would just on this straightaway, just yeah, and just when you kick a horse to go, and they take off.
Oh yeah,
it's power. You're just holy crap. It's unbelievable.
One horsepower sounds like nothing on the motor, but when you sit on the back of a horse, you get a lot of respect for that one horsepower.
Yeah. And what's power in that horse? That's the chlorophyll. That's the plants. And so what I learned, John, is that all life on this planet comes from the sun, period. And it's captured on the leaf of a plant via photosynthesis. And they teach us this stuff in 2nd grade, but we forget about it. So all life on the planet comes from the sun. And if you believe in God, which I do, and many of you do, you're different. Everybody has their own versions, and which is fine. Then God put the sun there. Okay. So all life on the planet comes from the sun. It's captured on the leaf of a plant via photosynthesis. And of course the plant has its roots down there. So it's pulling the minerals up, and there's water. So it's a recipe. Okay. It's a beautiful recipe. And inside the leaf of the plant is everything. Your proteins are there. Your fats or fatty acids. That's the cool thing about plant juices, is that the proteins are already in amino acid form. Your body doesn't have to labor to convert them. The fats are also already in fatty acid form. Your body doesn't have to labor to convert them when it's in the raw leaf of a plant. Most people forget that spinach is 19% protein. Chickpeas are 25% protein. So when you're eating hummus, you're getting a lot of protein. Actually, the highest content protein food on the planet, not that I'm a big protein pusher at all. In fact, I push against it, if anything, is blue-green algae. It's
okay, wait, I got to stop you. Hold on. Why do you push against protein? It's literally probably if you open up any social media app, and anyone who's talking about nutrition right now is talking about protein, 90%, 95% protein. Why are you against it?
Well, let's look around, and how's it working for us?
Yeah, no, I get that. But are you saying that it is not good for our bodies to have a high protein intake?
That depends. It's a little bit different for everybody. There is a sliding scale for human beings. What works for some will not work for others. I've seen, but overall, for the majority, a higher quality, low protein diet is what works.
Interesting. Okay.
It's all about quality. When you get,
I agree on that quality part.
When you get quality, you don't need to eat as much food. You're not going to be as hungry. Your cells are going to get nourished, and they're going to shut off the hunger signals. And once you take care of the parasites that are gnawing at you, and the yeast inside of you, like Candida albicans, that's gnawing at you to eat all the time, you just don't eat that much food.
Yeah, I agree on quality 100%. I was just really curious about the protein comment. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. And so back to the chlorophyll thing, and we could come on and do that whole, we could talk. I think we did a long time ago. We talked about that, the meat and the vegans and everything in between. We did do that. But so everybody's got to find out what works for them. So when we went to Hippocrates, we learned about living foods. Okay, so there's a difference between, and let me just give you a common example between cooked versus raw versus living. And it's nut butters. Okay, nut butters are a perfect example. And one of my favorite things in the world was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I mean, I would make 2 of those faster than you could flip a nickel. I mean, I could eat them. I was super fast at it because I would be eating them, and I would watch Flintstones, and I'd see my dad's blue truck in the window, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to get another peanut butter and jelly sandwich made and ate before he comes in, because he will not let me have anything before dinner, and I'm eating it. So I'd get it done real quick. And so I love peanut butter. When I learned that peanuts actually grow in the ground and there's an inherent mold on them, an aflatoxin that causes cancer, boy, was I not very happy about hearing that. But I did want to get healthy. And I heard there's different grades, A grade, B grade, C grade, and the C grade, pretty bad. We get a lot of the A grade peanuts here in the United States, so it doesn't have as many aflatoxins or cancer causers, but they're still there. But other countries, people eat peanuts and they just die. They just get cancer and die, right? So it's not a good deal. So I switched over to almonds. So now we're talking about almonds. Let's think you have roasted almond butter. That sounds pretty darn good. Sounds good to me. Roasted, I like it. But the problem is that when you heat the fats in any fat, especially the fats in these nuts, they turn into what are called lipid peroxides, a known carcinogen. It causes freaking cancer. And it's like, what? And it's not going to just like you eat it and you get it right there, but it's going to contribute to this. And so it leads to that. And when your immune system's weakened over decades, or a couple, now kids are being born with cancer. It doesn't take that long anymore because we're de-evolving as a species. But anyway, so you have that. Then you have the raw almond butter. Okay. And by the way, that roasted almond butter is going to be about, I don't know, $8, $9, $10 a jar. Okay. You go to the raw almond butter, you're locking $15 to $23 a jar for like artisan raw almond butter. And you're like, wow, and that's where I went. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. This is awesome. All right. But it's raw, right? But the difference now, the next one is sprouted almond butter. Okay. Now the difference is that the raw one is not sprouted. They just took those almonds and ground them up. Those almonds had a natural insecticide or protectant on them that protects them from the last bug to eat them. They're trying to survive too and reproduce and evolve, right? Just with all other species. And so and then you hear all these things about like lectins and and all these different things and enzyme inhibitors. Well, there's a problem with those, right? But when those nuts are soaked in water, those natural insecticides or protectants are released. All those lectins and stuff break down, and basically, and they become about 8 times more digestible. And here's the one you can hold your hat on, John. I'm going to hold my hat on this. The almond becomes 100 to 800 times more nutritious.
When it sprouts,
but guess what?
That
16-ounce jar of sprouted almond butter is probably going to cost you $25 to $35, and people are going to look at roasted almond butter $9, raw almond butter $21, sprouted almond butter $35. They're like, I'm buying the one for $9. This is a rip. This is stupid.
Yeah. But I got to tell you this, Tim. Sorry to interrupt, but I called you about 6 months ago. I said, my son Noah, he's working out a lot. He works at a gym and he works out a lot. He wants to build muscle mass and he's having kind of trouble gaining. And you said sprouted nut butter, and I said, this is the first time in my life that anyone has told me sprouted nut butter as an answer for gaining muscle mass.
Oh, yeah. So well, and in combination with resistance, exercise, and good sleep, those two things.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're not going to build muscle mass without exercising those muscles. So we bought him for his birthday. We bought him from that company you suggested. I think Blue Mountain Organics. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like a box of samplers of all the sprouted nut butters they have, and he's just going through them, and it's actually starting to pay off. He can, you can see it, and people are telling him, you're getting stronger. And so just wanted to throw it in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And I've seen that happen over and 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 over again with people that are slamming the protein. We cut back their protein intake a little bit and we put them on sprouted nut butters and have them mix it with the green 85 stuff, shake it up, drink it twice a day, and they get good resistance exercise. But they're usually already doing that. And they work on their sleep and they start putting muscle on. Put on weight. There's people are skinny. So, all right. So the difference, you have the $9 almond butter gives you cancer. Tastes great. You grew up with it. Everybody knows it. You're comfortable. Roasted sounds good, but it's not really that great for you. And it still has all the lectins and all the other crap in it because it was in the insecticides or protectants because it was just cooked right as was. The raw almond butter is going to have insecticides, protectants. It's not as digestible. Neither one of these are very digestible. Problems. And then you go to the sprouted nut butter, highly digestible, much, much better. Like with wheat as an example, when you sprout wheat, the gluten converts to a simple sugar. It's no longer gluten. So as long as you got this wheat sprouted and it wasn't sprayed with glyphosate, now you've got a powerhouse. You've got something amazing for the human body. It was called the staff of life. Okay. And I can get into that later. But so back to that sprouted nut butter deal. So now you might say, well, I'm paying $35 for this jar of 16 ounces of sprouted nut butter, which you don't have to, by the way, once you know which ones you want, because you go to bluemountainorganics.com and you can buy it in 10 pounds and you can buy them in
they got the big
40
jars.
pounds. You can buy them in 40 pounds and you can get it down around 12, 15, 13 bucks for 16 ounces. You just buy it in freaking bulk, right? And you're going to use it. You can put it on celery. You can make chocolate balls with it. With the sprouted cashew butter they have.
I tried a bunch of them. They all taste good. They all taste good.
You can make the health Nutella is the toxic death chocolate. Okay. But you can make your own Nutella. You put alcohol-free vanilla flavoring with it. You put some toasted carob powder, and then some drops of stevia or monk fruit. If you want to use some honey, you could. And you freaking stir it up, and you've got a delicious Nutella. And you can put that on green apples. I mean, knock yourself out. Now you got a healthy chocolate spread for you and your family, right? That's going to build muscle. And it's going to build good lipid membranes around the cellular structure of all the cells in their body. And it's going to be good for their joints and their bones and their eyes and their everything. And so you think about it, it's 100 to 800 times more digestible, 8 times more digestible. And how many people have digestive issues nowadays? Like everybody listening, pretty much raise your freaking hand. I mean, it's high today at some level. Maybe some people here, because they're inspired, they probably changed themselves. They've already gotten their gut handled. And I appreciate that, because we need you to have a healthy gut. And then the last thing is 100 to 800 times more nutritious. Even on the low end, the sprouted almond butter, you would have to buy 100 jars of the raw almond butter and consume it to get the nutrition out of 1 jar of sprouted almond butter. Now, you go put the pencil to that thing and see which one's, it's not what's the cheapest price, which one is the best value for your health and value financially. And like I said, if you go to bluemountainorganics.com, you can get that stuff for 12 to 15 bucks when you buy in bulk per 16 ounces. So it's a freaking no-brainer. So that's one little slice of the, what I'm a Sprout fanatic, dude. I have a shirt that says Sprout Powered. We used to have a company called the Sprout Company, and I was growing sunflower sprouts and pea sprouts and buckwheat lettuce and wheatgrass for about 40 to 60 cancer patients a week, and delivering in all the Portland, Vancouver metro area right out of my garage. I had
People can do it really easy, right? I mean,
it's easy to do, but it's easy not to do. Probably the hardest thing with those types of sprouts is that you really need some type of medium to grow them in. And they have some different things you can buy now, like papers and stuff you can lay down and grow them on. And they're kind of a thick mat and they expand, so it's not dirty. But you got to get some dirt. Usually I grow them in dirt. But here's the thing. I know there's people like, I can't get dirt. I can't pack that stuff. It's too heavy. I understand. That's why we're going to give you the easy ones. So here's the ones you can do on your countertop at home with no dirt in a glass jar. All right. Mung beans, lentils, and that includes red lentils, French lentils, green lentils, fenugreek. Fenugreek is a Greek hay. It's like a little tiny little tan angular thing. And boy, is that medicine for your gastrointestinal tract. For years and years and years, the country of Yemen stayed pretty darn healthy because they stayed away from the westernized foods, and their main staple was what? Fenugreek, right?
I had no idea.
And they would sprout it, and they would mortar and pestle it, and they put it on wounds, and they consume it, and they use it for all kinds of stuff. But you want to talk about gastrointestinal healing, I would throw fenugreek right up there with chia seeds and flaxseed water. You have chia seeds, flaxseed water, and fenugreek in your lifestyle going through your gut all the time, and you're going to freaking feel amazing. It's going to help you heal up a lot. So fenugreek, red lentils, French lentils, green lentils, and mung beans can all be grown, and they're ready to eat in 2.5 days. So you soak them once. Remember, anytime you sprout any nut, seed, grain, or bean, you soak it one time, and then you rinse them twice a day. And just as important as rinsing them is draining them, because yes, they need the water, but they also need to breathe. They need to breathe. They need to breathe carbon dioxide.
Okay. And then how do you consume them? What's the best way to consume them?
In your mouth. I know you don't want to talk about the anal pathway anymore, so we're just
it's all good. If that's how you want to consume it. I mean,
don't eat them with your butt. Just use your mouth. So what you do is you can mix them in with some hummus, right? and then use that to fill like a lettuce leaf, or you can put that maybe like a, oh, where they have them now. They have taco shells now. Oh, unfortunately, that company got bought by Pepsi. I'm really upset about that. That's Siete brand. They had the cassava root based chips and taco shells. Unfortunately,
It got too healthy. Pepsi came along.
When people, yeah, when these companies sell out, I'm just like, I'm out. I don't trust them anymore because I know it's sorry, I ain't buying it. I'm out. That's sad. But anyway, so you could use a cabbage leaf or a butter leaf lettuce or any type, or a collard leaf, different things. And you could take the hummus and you can mix it in with all these sprouts, and then do that. Or you could just put the sprouts on your salad, or, cook your soup and all that and get it done. And then at the very end, put a pile of them right on your soup. And so you're not killing them with the heat, right? When you steam something or cook something over.
That's what the Vietnamese do. They put the sprouts at the end in there. There's always sprouts in the soup. I love that.
Yeah, and here's some of the benefits, okay? So people are always like, I need vitamins. Yeah, you need vitamins. I need minerals. Yep, you need minerals. I need trace minerals. And people start learning this stuff. Yes, these are important. You also need the proteins and the fats and the carbohydrates, okay? That's the macro view of things. And then you got vitamins, trace minerals and stuff like that. But living foods have a whole nother basket of nutrition. And the acronym is HOPE, HOPE. That's hormones that help balance your own body's hormones and communication intercellular with your cells so your cells can communicate. Hormones, oxygen, and one of the number one nutrients in the body is oxygen, right? For all processes. Lymphatic system, your brain requires it. Living foods have oxygen. The next one is phytonutrients, and these are unreal. Okay, just let's dissect one plant, the wheatgrass. The wheatgrass. Okay, at the Oregon State University, in my home state in Oregon, they are the top phytochemical or phytonutrient research center in the world. And so for decades, they've been studying. At least since I know, they've been studying since 2011. I believe 2012. They had counted like 70,000 nutrients they had found in wheatgrass. 70,000 out of wheatgrass. Okay, wheatgrass. 70,000 nutrients
incredible.
That can heal and prevent disease. 70,000. 2 years later, they had counted 74,000 phytonutrients that can heal or prevent disease. And they're still counting, bro. Still counting. There could be hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of these phytonutrients or phytochemicals, it's the same thing, that are in these living plants, these uncooked living plants. So you think about it, raw is great. It's awesome. But in my school of thought, where it comes from, if it's been picked and then sprayed with stuff and then shipped on average 15 to 120, 500 miles and sprayed with like ethylene gas, keep it looking good, and waxed and all this weird stuff they do to it, and appeal, weird stuff. Like, is it really that good for you? Well, no, it might be better than a toxic tofu burger or something like that, but or cooked something else. But the bottom line is that if you look at all the creatures on the planet, every single one of them, what do they eat? Except for buzzards and some of the, carrion and stuff like that. Yeah. 100% living food diet. They're all munching right out of the grass, right out of the soil. Even if they're eating animals, they're eating them alive. Like when a hawk catches a mouse, it's eating it right there on the spot, and it's getting the enzymes out of the blood of that mouse right there. And that's the last one for E on HOPE, is enzymes. Mm-hmm. And enzymes, like, when's the best time to pick fruit? Right when it's falling from the tree. If you could literally catch a piece of fruit, or you see a piece of fruit fall off a tree and hit the ground, run over there and eat it. That will be the healthiest fruit at the peak of enzyme activity, and will be the most nutritious. And right after that, the enzymes they're going down.
I got to tell you something. So we have all these bushes outside and different trees. And so if I pick a raspberry or a blueberry or any other kind of berry, and I eat a handful, which if you eat store-bought, you kind of want to eat, you can eat the whole box, right? And you're still you would want more. I eat a handful of raspberries. Dude, I am full, literally full. And this is when they're ripe, when they're ready. So there's a completely different nutritious composition than what you could ever get in a store.
Oh, it's
just
amazing.
on that. But yes, go ahead.
So remember the acronym HOPE: hormones, oxygen, phytochemicals, and enzymes. And we could go into a whole bunch of different tangents, but let's just focus on enzymes. Enzymes are the carriers of electric. This is the electron potential. So we're all just electrons buzzing around. And so when you eat living foods, as you're chewing them, those electrons transfer through your teeth, through your bone system, and literally transfer electron activity into your body. Right there. So when you're chewing living foods, you're actually you're actually charging yourself with electrons. It's like grounding, like putting your feet on the ground. You're grounding and charging yourself, or you lay on a grounding mat and you're charging yourself. You're hugging a tree that's deep into the ground. You're charging yourself. It's the same thing when you eat living foods. You're literally charging yourself up. You're powering up the battery. It's like plugging into a battery pack for your body and plugging in. And so, that's why we make a big deal about it. And that's why our first product, when we made Green 85, we take, like, it depends on whenever we get it, but 21 to 33 to 1 concentrates of like wheatgrass juice. Now, wheatgrass is a sprout because it's the seed. It was soaked in water. It grew into a grass, and then we juice the grass and then take 21 to 31 pounds of it to make 1 pound of dehydrated wheatgrass juice constitute powder that can be reconstituted. But we had to dehydrate it under 110 degrees to ensure that we maximize the enzyme potential, so that when you reconstitute it and you drink it, it's hitting your teeth and it's literally picking that up. And that's why we have people that are like, I don't know, intuitives and people that are into frequency and stuff flip out. They can absolutely flip out when they come to our booths and stuff at events, and they take one little shot of the greens and they're just like, whoa, what's going on? Because they're very intuitive.
So this is, if you're not sprouting on your countertop, or if you're not sprouting at home, this is the next best thing. I mean, this is what we do, because we have a full day usually. And so greens in the morning, greens in the afternoon. And it is, the thing is also, it's not just that it feels so alive and that you get literally a boost. It's that you're also not hungry after you have after you have the green juice.
Yeah. And like I'm saying, if you're going to get a good foraging book and go out and forage, do it. Like if you just eat living foods, you don't need the juice. You don't need Green 85. You'll get plenty of everything. But how many people are doing that? Not very many. How many people are actually going out and getting good greens, and then juicing them? Okay, very few. I've taught thousands, over 5,000 people to come to my home and I taught them to juice, and almost 5,000 of them bought juicers because I'm very convincing. But also they drank the juice and they drank the wheatgrass shot and the green juice, and they told me they felt good for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days after, with abundant energy from one evening of living foods. One evening. Imagine what it's like when you do it every freaking day, multiple times a day. You'll be like me. You'll have so much energy, you don't even know what to do with it. It's like, it's amazing. And it's like, people, like, sometimes they think I'm on cocaine, and I'm like, no, I'm not on cocaine.
That's just him.
No, I'm plugged into Mother Earth.
I know you. That's the only way I know you. I met you at a gathering in Georgia, and you were the guy who came in the morning, and everybody got their green juice. You served it to the entire group. You got it out, made sure everybody drank it, because there were other non as healthy options. And you were just, energetic at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., 8 p.m., 10 p.m. Tim was still going. Everybody was becoming tired and getting tired and ready for bed. And Tim was still, what are we doing, folks? What are we doing?
Yeah. Drinking green juice. It works. So anyway, I hope that I did a good job selling you that you have a natural body, and that living foods and living juices. And by the way, all plants have structured water in them. You've had me on here. We've talked about structured water before. This is another huge, huge thing for those of you that might not be able to afford like our Water Hero system. If you just eat living plants, the water inside of them and is structured. Cucumbers, the water inside of a cucumber, watermelons, all of it is structured. So you're getting structured water. You're getting the hormones, the oxygen, the phytochemicals, the enzymes, the electrons. You're getting vitamins, minerals, trace minerals. It's unreal what you can get out of that. And it's medicine. And I've watched people boom, 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 heal. If you want to know the recipe, it's wheatgrass, 2 ounces a day, fresh, twice a day for 7 years. And then after that, you do 2 ounces once a day for life, 2 green juices a day, period. I never miss. That's to replace the degradation. It's 85% of it's farmed out of our soils. And the that's a good little recipe for you to do it. And we're here to help for those people that live in condos or don't have access to foods. That's why we built Green 85, or for those that want to have it for travel or just supplement, or people that are busy. They're just like, look, dude, I got no energy. I want to grow a garden, but I couldn't even think about doing it. I'm tired. Well, get on this stuff, get your energy, and then get out there and get your garden growing. Start doing some sprouts.
Also cut your grocery bills in half, because you're not going to be able to eat as much. You're not going to physically be able. I have to tell you this, dear friend of mine who's been struggling, stressed, life got in the way, gained a lot of weight, a lot of problems that come with that at a certain age too. So Kristin put him on a full regimen of chemical-free body products. Of course, we really pushed the importance of the green juice. Like I said, this is what you built the restaurant. And it's been 3 weeks, and it's steadily improving from it was not good. Let me just say it was really not good. And I can see the energy levels. I can see the brain function. I can just see all the signals are there. This is not like, oh, miracle overnight, everything is healed. But you'll get on the journey, and it'll just get better and better and better and better. But like Tim says, it's not about, hey, you got to go and buy all these products. It's here's what you can do. If you want to, you can do this. You can sprout at home. You can do this. But if you're someone who either is very busy or you don't want to, this is when you go to chemicalfreebody.com/inspired. Just check everything out. Most importantly, Tim's a 24/7 health coach. Like, he does a podcast, right? And there's so much information. People can just binge on it and learn from you, and get all the benefits that you could possibly get, because he is the chemical free body guy first and foremost, inspired to help you be the best possible you.
One of my coaches, our head coach today, she's like, I didn't even know that, because I in an onboarding call with a new client yesterday, I told her, I said, when you go to sleep at night, you exhale a quart of water by morning.
That's what I heard.
It's good to put water in your system first thing, whether it's water with lemon, water with lime, water with cayenne pepper, water with, the mother. You put in some of the vinegar, what I'm talking about, the apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider, yeah.
Yeah, or you mix it in with some greens. Like, you got to get some water back, and you got to replenish that. You got to fill the tank back up. You expelled a quart of water. We are water. We're nature. We're just freaking nature. Yeah, I drink my pee first, and then I drink a bunch of water.
I drink mine all day.
Yeah. So anyway, I just hope people understand. It's like, look, your body's from nature. You just need to put basic things in your body. Whatever the mainstream's telling you. If they tell you salt's bad, well, guess what? It's not. Okay. When you sweat, you got salt coming out. So salt's good. Greens are good. Nature's good. Chlorophyll's good. Get chlorophyll in your body. Dose it twice a day for at least 90 days and watch what happens. Just flood your body with water and green juice, chlorophyll, and just see what happens. I mean, it's going to work. You're going to get more energy. There's no crash. And like John said, you're going to cut your grocery bill in half, and that'll save you'll be able to afford more stuff, and that'll good for you. Get rid of your cable bill and get some greens.
Tim James, chemicalfreebody.com/inspired. Go check it out. It's an inspiring place to be at. Learn a lot and get some of and this is the most important thing. This is what we call the consciousness economy. It's people that are striving for excellence in all areas of their service, that create the best possible service or products, and that have integrity, through the entire process. Those are the only people that we work with, partner with, and are friends with. And so it's, I can say with all my heart that if anybody is looking for wonderful, wonderful additions, supplements, and yes, health products, then go to chemicalfreebody.com/inspired. We 100% endorse it. We use it. Our family uses it. We give it to everyone that we think could benefit from it. So,
John, I want to thank you and Kristin for giving me this platform to share with people. And I also want to thank the Inspired Tribe out there because there's a lot of you that are purchasing our products, and we really appreciate that. And I hope that you're appreciating the level of quality that and a lot of this is that a lot of I'm just piggybacking off of 41 years of Dr. Treadway's genius of being a master formulator, a master herbalist, and his 41 years of sourcing, right? So I went out and found him. I wanted to find the best of the best of the best for myself, and it ended up turning into a business. I was just going to do coaching. I didn't know we were going to end up with the product lines. We just did it through frustration. So I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart that's giving us money to help us grow and expand. I'm so excited. We got our first product now, Green 85, and sustainable, 100% sustainable compostable packaging. So if you leave it outside somewhere, it'll turn into dirt. That's so cool. And our goal is to get all of our products switched over to the bags. And we just want to keep doing new cool stuff and launching new products and helping people. So thank you everybody so much. And we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
Yes, sir. I second that 100%. Tim James, thank you so much, brother. Always an honor and a pleasure. And Inspire Tribe, we love you. Like Tim says, we love you. We appreciate you. And we will be back with you again very, very soon.